This video will double as a demonstration as well as a basic training video for the AssetZure asset software. You'll see that consists of two parts. The one is the desktop app and the other one is a smartphone app that uses your smartphone as a scanner. On the desktop side, you'll see that we've got divisions. The divisions is a bigger area. That could be like company ABC, or it could be area 1, 2, 3. It's just a bigger area. And next to it we've got locations. So locations are smaller areas within divisions. It normally will be something like reception, boardroom, office 1, that sort of locations. And then inside each location we've got the assets. So the assets are typically table, laptop, chair, that sort of assets. So if we look at the smartphone app, you'll see that we've got different buttons there. Every button's got a different function regarding the asset management of the system. So basically we can in items, we can out, we can move items, we can archive, we can do a stock count, or we can search. When we look at in will be for bringing new items onto the system or moving old items or existing items on the system to a new location. Out is for items that's leaving the company hands for a while. It's like a flag. So typically we'll out items that goes for repairs or for calibration, or maybe it's a loan model for another company or something, and we must make sure they come back in a timely fashion. Then we've got move. Move is similar to in, but it's for items that's already on the system to move a bulk load of items from one location to another, where in will do one by one. If we look at archive, that's for your disposals. That's your end of life, stuff that's stolen or broken or sold, basically disposals of your items. Then when we look at count, that's your stock take. That would be next year's verification exercise. That's to verify the existence and where the assets actually are. And then lastly we've got the search button. That's to look up for items and search where they are and details on them. Right, so if we go to the in button, you'll see that the system will ask first of all for location barcode. So when we scan a location barcode, that will identify the location that we're going to do the actual asset scanning. You'll note that the asset barcode starts with LOC, so that's how we know it's a location barcode and not an asset. Then we can give that location a name. We're going to call it boardroom in this instance, and we will say that the division or the bigger area will be branch 1. When we press next and we look right at the top, you'll see that the system will tell us that we are currently in branch 1 in the boardroom, and then from here it will ask us for the different asset details. So we scan the asset. In this case it's a laptop, so you'll note that we've got a name and a description. The name is something we'll keep simple, short and sweet, like laptop. With description we'll go more in detail, like say it's the model number and all other details that you want to take note of. So name, keep simple, laptop. Description, we'll say it's a ISO 1, and the model, the specific model is the E270. Then we've got comments. So comments could be something regarding that specific asset. In this instance we're going to say it's broken. Then we've got the serial number. That's also a scannable field. So again we can scan a serial number, something you don't have to type in. Then we've got an option to take 4 photos per asset. So we're going to take the first photo. We're going to say that's the photo, that's how the asset looks, and we submit the data. Right, because it's an internet-based system, the moment that we submit the data and we go to the desktop software, we press the refresh button, the data is immediately there. It's because the desktop and the smartphone app, they both talk to the same database. When we click on photos, you'll see that the photos are live. It's also there. It's got a date and time stamp of when exactly the photo was taken. There's an option to add 3 other photos, so you can also add manual photos. This could be something like maybe the invoice, or maybe a calibration certificate or something regarding that asset. And it's also position specific, so that that photo will stay in position number 4. It won't move. So that on the photos. I've added 3 more assets on the system just to give you an idea. If we've got a few assets on there, we can run through the fields. So the first field is asset barcode, second one name, third one description. You'll see that we keep the name as simple as possible, and then we go and elaborate a bit on the description. Then we've got the category. Category is a type of asset. It could be a cost center or something like that, IT equipment, or that desk we will call furniture. It's a field that we can pull filters on. Next to that we've got the location barcode. That's the actual value of the barcode of the location. The name of the location is boardroom, and it falls in branch 1. The status that we got there is in. That's because we chose the in button, and that's the actual date and time of the scan. Right next to that we've got a due date. So due date, the system will send you automatic email when a due date is reached. So we can either say like 3 months from that status date, or we can manually add the date there when we need to be notified when that date is reached. So it will send you an email once that date is reached. If we move on, then we've got these 4 fields. They are used for value depreciation. So we got a purchase date. That's the actual date when we bought the item. Next to it we've got a purchase price. So we can fill in the purchase price of the item. And then we've got the expiry date. So the expiry date, depending on the laws of the country, it could be 3 years for IT assets, 5 years for furniture, or it might be an in-house decision how fast you want to depreciate a certain item. I'll just put something in here for the desk as well. So we've got 2 items. So once those 4 fields are completed, then we can go to reports on the top right. The very last report is called value depreciation. So if we click here, you'll see that the value depreciation runs from today a year back. You can change those dates so that you can see it even for a month, whatever you want. And then it's all the details that we already captured on the asset. Then the first math is here. So we've got prior depreciation, in other words before the start of that period. That's the value that the asset lost. And then we've got depreciation for the current selection. And then it just shows us how the math works. And then we've got total depreciation right at the end, and we've got the current book value. And while we're here at reports, we can look at assets per location detail. It'll show us in branch 1 we've got a boardroom. In the boardroom we've got 4 assets. If you put all the values, then it will tell you what was the total purchase price as well as the expiry date of those assets that's in the boardroom. If we move along, then we've got notes and comments. They sound very similar. It could be a bit confusing, but notes will be a static field. In this case for the laptop we can say it came with a bag. Although the bag is not an asset, we still need to get the bag back when the guy returns the laptop. So that's just like a note, a static note on that specific asset. Where the comments is a dynamic field. The comments are, it could be broken today, tomorrow it could be repaired, but it's linked to the status date, the actual date of the scanning. So every time you scan that asset, the system will clear that field, and you can put a new comment in. Then we've got a serial number. So serial number, and then we've got 20 custom fields after that. How we get to the custom fields, you can right click anywhere on the column headings, you go to edit columns, then we can scroll down. You'll see that we've got fixed custom fields. Fixed custom fields are pretty much, they behave like notes. So that's a fixed field, it won't change every time you scan. But then we've also got dynamic custom fields. They behave similar to the comments column. So every time we scan, it clears those, and it will start to keep a history. So So if we go back to the smartphone app and we're going to do an in as to move an asset, so we can scan the location. We're going to call this Office 1 and it will still be in branch 1. So it's Office 1, branch 1, that's a new location. We go next. And now we can scan the asset that we're going to move to Office 1. So you'll see it shows we're in branch 1, Office 1. We're going to scan that asset. We want to move, so we're going to move the laptop, scans, it's got all the details of that laptop. You'll see that now the comments are empty, so you can put a new value there. It's going to Joe Soap, so we can take a new picture if we need. We're just going to update it from here, so we submit it. So when we go to the desktop software, to the left here, we'll see that we're currently in the boardroom. So when we update, we refresh, then we see it's moved it to Office 1. So you don't need to book out to move something, you can just scan in and it will automatically move it. You'll also see that we've got a new comment now. When we select that item, we can go to history and already you can get an idea of the history. So we booked it in at that time in the boardroom, it's broken, and we moved it to that location on that time with a comment that says it's going to Joe Soap. The system also captures, it uses your phone's GPS. If you set that up under settings to be the case, then let me just move that here, and then it will show you an estimate on the map as where that specific asset is. From here we can move on. Just uncheck that one. Okay, if we go back to the app, we go back to the home screen. So now we're going to do the out function. So it's the same story. When we click on out, again it will ask us for the location details. If that location is already on the system, then you can simply start typing the location name like Office 1 and press enter. So it will automatically go to Office 1. It's already on the system. You can scan the barcode. So we're going to out this laptop. We're going to say it's going for repairs. Submit it. We go back to the desktop software. When we refresh now, you'll see that the status color here changes to orange, and that's actually linked to the status that's out. So it will show you out, and it also updates that status date. So that item is currently out. If we go to the right to the comments, then we can see that it's going for repairs. Right, when that thing is repaired, we're going to bring it back in. So again, we choose the location, we scan the asset barcode, again all the info is there, we're happy it's back, so we submit it, and then on the refresh on the desktop software, it will bring that item back as in, it goes green, status change to in, and it updates the date and time. When we go now to history, you will see that it's got more history entries. On the last one we didn't put a comment, but you can always put the comment afterwards on the desktop side. Right, then back to the app. So from here I'm going to show you how the count works. Again, similar, we must start with the location. So we're going to tell the system where we're busy doing a count. Then when we're here, you'll see that it shows we're in branch 1 in the boardroom doing a count there. We're expecting 3 assets there, 2 chairs and a desk. And then it's got a multi-scan button, so once you start scanning, it will carry on scanning until you finish. So when you finish, you just press the back button. When we press the scan button, so then we scan the desk, we scan another barcode that represents the chair. When I press the back button now, see that we've done 2 assets. At this stage you can submit, so we can actually submit those, then it will tell us we've done 2 out of 3 assets. We still need to find that one chair that's outstanding. And when we go to back to the desktop software and we do a refresh, you'll see that one that we didn't find, that chair will show up as missing. Okay, because it was not found, wasn't scanned in this instance, so it will show up as missing. Then when we scan the laptop that's supposed to be in Office 1, it will tell us that asset is displaced. So from here you can click on the asset barcode, it will give you all the details of that asset, and from here you can see it's supposed to be in Office 1. It was now found in the boardroom, and from here you can make a decision to either delete it here and take it back to Office 1, or you can submit it, basically accepting it. Then you'll see now it's saying 3 or 4 assets counted. And on the desktop side, when we refresh, it will move that laptop from Office 1 to boardroom, and it will update the status as counted as well as the status date. And if we look at history, we can see there's another entry. Right, if you go to the home button, we can do archives here, similar to all the other actions. So we start with a location, but we can also do archives on the desktop side. The reason for that is maybe we don't have that specific item, we don't have his barcode anymore, so we cannot scan it, so we can mark it like that. You can click on archive, and then it will ask you for an archive reason and an archive value. So we can say, let's say the archive reason is we sold it. We put in the archive value, what we got for it. Then we can also update that date, maybe that happened like a week ago or something. Once it's archived, you'll see that the green goes to a grey, the status becomes archived, and when we go to value depreciation, go right to the end, you'll see that it's got the current book value, and we sold it for a little bit more and we made a little profit. So that grey means archived, status is archived now, and again the status date is updated. Then if we look at the users tab, we can add users to the system. We can give them certain rights. The highest level is administrator, that's basically what you see here. The next level is editor. The editor can do basically all that an administrator can do, but they can't delete any items. They can also not change global settings and stuff. Then we got a view license and an operator. Operator can only work on the smartphone, don't have access to the desktop software. If we go back to assets, we can anywhere on the system you can take it out to Excel. The Excel is already formatted. As you can see, it's already got filters built in. So we can say we just want to see all the counted items. You can maybe filter by location and so forth. The system also keeps a log file. The log file will show you what user on what device at what date and time, and what they did on the system. So if there's any discrepancies, then you can always fall back to the log file.